Even if you hate the Star Wars prequels, they are a goldmine of filmmaking nuggets and things you can learn about the filmmaking process. If you're an aspiring filmmaker or film buff, these are 13 things about the Phantom Menace that are for you. Number 1, near the end of the pod race, there is a shot where Sebulba actually isn't in his pod racer. Hey, even sometimes the professionals overlook things. Or either that or it was just too expensive to go back and fix the shot, and they figured no one would notice. It took me more than 20 years and dozens of viewings to catch this, so I think the filmmakers probably just thought no one would notice. Number 2, what sets Star Wars designs apart from other science fiction films is that it has mythic and fantasy aspects to it. Design director Doug Chiang said that the designs, no matter how alien or outlandish, had to be based on reality in order for the audience to relate to them. They had to have some tie to our culture and history. Number 3, re-recording dialogue after the film is shot can be an absolute pain, but it's often necessary, especially in movies with lots of action and lots of stuff going on in the background that make the dialogue recordings kind of unusable. Approximately 85% of the dialogue was re-recorded and replaced for episode 1. Number 4, the most normal, average, everyday objects can be used to great effect, even in high-budget films. The waterfalls around the Theed Palace, for example, were created by pouring salt, and the wide shots of the pod race stands were filled with colored Q-tips that were gently blown back and forth to emulate the look of faraway moving crowd shots. Number 5, during filming, a massive storm in Tunisia hit the production, which destroyed nearly all the sets, except for the ramp of the Queen's ship. Crazily, all the sets were able to be quickly rebuilt, and the film production stayed on schedule. However, the entire Tunisia filming schedule was rearranged as sets were rebuilt. The lesson here, filmmaking requires flexibility, especially flexibility in the moment. Before we get to number 6, if you're enjoying these filmmaking facts and want to explore deeper dives, check out the Filmmaking Notebook Substack link below. Number 6, 7 R2-D2 models were constructed, each one specialized in a different element. Some were good in sand, some were good over door jams, and some were good in forests. So when you see R2-D2 in the movie, know that it's one of 7 possible models that they built. Number 7, the studio space where all the interior sets were constructed and filmed in was used just a few years later for the interior locations of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Warner Brothers kept using this studio space for more than a decade for the filming of all 8 Harry Potter movies. Number 8, except for one scene, Darth Sidious is only seen as a hologram for the entire film. No surprise there, that's common knowledge. But this was a purposeful thematic element meant to call back to The Empire Strikes Back. And of course, Sidious as the hologram is the namesake of the Phantom Menace. Number 9, 3,500 storyboards were created for the film. George Lucas walked the visual effects team through each storyboard, shot by shot, describing what was going to be real and what was going to be CGI, so the filmmakers knew exactly what needed to be built on set and what would be computer graphics later on. Number 10, the first lap of the podcast, hang on, podcast? No. The first lap of the pod race was intentionally left without music, with the sound effects driving the sequence. The music doesn't kick in until lap 2, but the audience really doesn't even notice. Never underestimate the power of specific sound design and how it can carry an entire sequence. Number 11, don't be afraid to share with your actors information that only they know. Per George Lucas, Qui-Gon Jinn knows for the whole movie that Padme is really the queen. This really isn't important for the audience to know, but it is important for Liam Neeson, the actor, to know, as it helps inform him of how to play his character. Number 12, hiring an actor who is also an expert in a specific field will bring an extra layer of believability to the character. Actor Ray Park is a real-life martial artist who did all of his own fights and stunts, and you never doubt for a second that he is a well-trained Dark Lord of the Sith. Number 13, sometimes less is more. The scene where Anakin and his mother discuss his future was originally much longer, it was much more emotional with much more crying, but George Lucas decided to cut it down to what we see in the movie. Let me know in the comments if you wish they had extended this scene or not. And for more filmmaking facts, check out this playlist here, and until next time, have fun watching movies and making movies.